to Kids Connexion here at Westminster.
And happy early Family Day, because Family Day is tomorrow, which is perfect for this week of Kids Connexion because our bottom line is be kind to your family and friends.
Kindness is showing others they are valuable by how you treat them. And like last week, we are continuing to talk about how we are super fans of kindness.
Being kind is important when it comes to the things we say or do because our words and actions are how we show people how important they are.
You know what I miss?
What?
Going to sports games. And during timeouts and breaks where they'd play music and people would dance. And if you're lucky, they'd put you on the Jumbotron. You know, like the really big screen in the stadium.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I've actually been on it a couple of times.
Ooh.
Not for dancing. But as we play our theme song, let's see you dance like you're on the Jumbotron.
Got a rhythm in my heart and in my soul. Got a reason for this joy I can't control. I wanna sing, I wanna dance, and give everyone a chance to hear about this endless love I know. Oh, what you give to me is not for me to keep, it's for the world to see your love. Shine, you make me glow. You pick me up when I am feeling low. I wanna sing, I wanna dance, and give everyone a chance to hear about this endless love I know. Oh, what you give to me is not for me to keep, it's for the world to see your love. You give to me is not for me to keep, it's for the world to see your love. Every day you're giving me your kindness, every day you're giving me your love. Oh, with every single breath I am reminded that what you give is more than enough. So I'll give a little kindness, give a little kindness, give a little love away. Give a little kindness, give a little kindness, give a little love away. Give a little kindness, give a little kindness, give a little love away. Give a little kindness, give a little kindness, give a little love away.
I had kind of a hard time coming up with something gamey for Valentine's Day, but there has to be something.
I wondered if this might happen.
Oh.
And I have an idea,
Oh.
but you have to guess.
Oh.
But I will give you a hint.
Oh. Okay.
What do you think people like doing on Valentine's Day?
Eat chocolate. Are we gonna have a chocolate eating contest?
No.
Oh.
I don't want an upset stomach, and I don't think that's very good for you overall.
Fair enough. Make cards? We're making cards?
Nope. Think a little more romantic, Tarzan.
Fancy restaurant. We're cooking? But you don't cook? Are you trying to trick me into making you more food?
No, but I could go for a snack if you're offering.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about dancing.
Oh.
We already warmed up with our first song, and so now we're gonna play freeze dance.
Ooh.
I'm going to play some music, and when the music stops, you need to freeze. Okay, are you ready?
I am as ready as I will ever be.
Jesus, you have been so faithful. Jesus, you have been so true. I will be forever thankful, 'cause I never had a friend like you. Help me to be who you've been to me, to everyone I see. Let us love one another with a love like no other yet. That's the way you love us, God. Never turn away, you are with us every day, yeah. That's the way you love us, God. Your love has always been beginning to end. There's never been a better friend. So let us love one another with our love like no other, yeah. That's the way you love us, God. You with me in the darkest valley. You with me on the mountaintop. I'm thankful that you never leave me, and that your love will never stop. Help me to be who you've been to me, to everyone I see. Let us love one another with a love like no other yet. That's the way you love us, God. Never turn away, you are with us every day, yeah. That's the way you love us, God. Your love has always been beginning to end. There's never been a better friend. So let us love one another with our love like no other, yeah. That's the way you love us, God. I wanna thank you for being a friend who's always by my side. I wanna thank you for the way you love me all my life. I wanna thank you for being a friend who's always by my side. I wanna thank you for the way you love me all my life. Love one another with a love like no other, yeah. That's the way you love us, God. Never turn away, you are with us every day, yeah. That's the way you love us, God. Your love has always been beginning to end. There's never been a better friend. So let us love one another with our love like no other, yeah. That's the way you love us, God.
Last week, we talked about the reason we should be kind in the first place. Do you remember what it was? We can be kind to others because God is kind to us.
But if we're being honest, I think all of us would admit that it isn't always easy to be kind. In fact, sometimes it's hardest to be kind to the people who are closest to us, like our family members and our closest friends.
You might think, oh, Smalls, if you knew my brother, you would not expect me to be kind to him. But it is possible to be kind to people who are closest to us.
And you have like how many siblings and have lived with how many foster kids?
Well, I have 8 siblings and then have had like, I don't know, over 30 different foster kids in my life.
So I feel like of like all people who should be able to talk about this, like it's you. So I feel like people should be able to get along with one or maybe like a few siblings.
I think so. However, we don't always get along.
Oh, that's fair.
So what's the story today, Tarzan?
Our story today starts out with a lot of people. So let me start with some introductions. First, there was Naomi. Naomi had a husband and 2 sons. They lived in a land called Judah, but there wasn't enough food there.
Well, I'm seeing the havoc of growing boys and food, especially with all the brothers I have.
I bet. But this was a country-wide level issue. There was no food anywhere. So they moved to where there was food, in a land called Moab. But while they were there, Naomi's husband died.
Oh, that's so sad.
It really is. But both her sons found wives. The first son married a woman named Orpah, and the other son married a woman named Ruth.
I like Ruth as a name. Orpah? It's very unique.
Yep. Sadly though, both the sons died.
But back in those days, wasn't it really bad to be a woman without a husband or to have any sons to take care of you?
It was. And now, there's 3 of them. There's Naomi, there's Orpah, and there's Ruth. And they're all in the same situation.
Oh no.
Luckily though, Naomi heard that there was food in Judah again. And since there was nothing keeping Naomi there, she decided to go back.
If Naomi is going to have a hard time finding food as a widow, how is she going to take care of Orpah and Ruth?
Well, she told them, go away. They didn't have to go home, but she didn't want them staying with her.
That's real rough.
When Orpah heard this, she left. Ruth, on the other hand, said, don't try to make me leave you and go back. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God.
And I'm sure Naomi was thrilled.
So thrilled that she tried to convince Ruth to stay in Moab. But Ruth really wasn't going to back down. She was going with Naomi. So they left Moab and they settled in Bethlehem.
That's where Jesus was born. Crossover episode here.
Well, Jesus doesn't come till much, much later. But if you ever get around to reading the book of Matthew, at the beginning is something like a 23andMe for Jesus, and you will find the name of Ruth. But back to the story. In Bethlehem was a man named Boaz. Boaz was related to Naomi very distantly, and he owned a lot of fields full of grain. The 2 women needed food, so they went to talk to Boaz to see if they could get some grain.
Well, he owns the fields, and I'm sure that he could just give them some.
Well, that's not really how it worked back then, but luckily they put a law in place that when their farmers harvested their grain, any that happened to stay on the ground was to be left on the ground so that people who were sick or widows or anybody like that who needed food could go get some food.
So it's like a super low level food bank.
Something like that. But Ruth, being younger than Naomi, went to go collect some of the grain that was left for the poor and the sick and the widowed. When she was doing this, Boaz noticed a new woman working out in his field.
Is it love at first sight?
Well, he's only seen her, so we'll see. So, he went to the people who were in charge of his workers and asked, who is this woman? When he learned who she was, they said that she was from Moab. She was Naomi's daughter-in-law, who was widowed though, and she was very kind. Hearing this, Boaz went to Ruth and told her that she could gather as much grain as she wanted from any of his fields. He also said if she wanted, she could stay with the other women who lived there. She didn't have to get grain anywhere else. And he's even left some men in charge of making sure that no one bothers her, and even offered her a drink from his own personal well.
Ooh la la.
He even gave her a parting gift of bread and some extra roasted grain to give to Naomi.
And what did Naomi think about this?
She could see what was happening. She knew God had a plan for Boaz and Ruth. So she told Ruth to meet Boaz in secret.
The tea is hot today, spill.
Well, Boaz woke up in the middle of the night and looked out his window, and there was Ruth. Ruth approached Boaz and said,
I love you, Boaz.
Nothing quite so romantic. She told Boaz that according to the customs of the time, with everything that he'd done for her, she should be placed under his protection and that he was now responsible for her family.
Oh, how sweet.
Boaz knew what she was getting at, and he felt the same. They wanted to get married.
Aww. Not gonna lie, they're kind of a weird couple.
Once again, according to the custom of the time, this is like kind of normal. And according to those customs, there were other men who technically should have been in line ahead of Boaz to marry Ruth. But Boaz was determined, so he went to talk to the local leaders to see if he could buy Naomi's family farm, allowing him to cut to the head of the line and marry Ruth. And the leader agreed, and Boaz and Ruth were married.
So cute.
Naomi also went to stay with them. And after a short time, they had a baby named Obed.
Oh, I love babies so much.
And Obed would have his own son named Jesse.
Wait, like Jesse, the father of King David?
One and the same. Like I said, Ruth is part of Jesus' ancestors.
Huh, the more you know.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the Book of Ruth.
In the land of Moab, there lived a young woman named Ruth. She married a man from Judah and must have dreamed of a large family and many children.
We'll name them Zeke and Hannah and...
But Ruth's happily ever after ended before it began. Her husband died and his brother too, and that left Ruth alone with her sister-in-law Orpah and her mother-in-law Naomi, whose husband died too.
I have nothing left.
Naomi had come to live in Moab during a famine in Judah, but she had gotten word that there was plentiful food in her homeland again, so she planned to take a road trip.
Ruth, Orpah, go back to your family homes. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown me.
So Orpah kissed her mother-in-law and left, but Ruth wouldn't budge.
I'm going with you.
Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people.
Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God.
Well, okay then.
Finally, after a long and dusty journey, the two women arrived in Naomi's hometown of Bethlehem. Everywhere along the road, barley rippled in the breeze, golden and ready to harvest.
Is that Naomi? She don't look so good.
Don't call me Naomi. The Lord has made my life bitter. I went away full, and the Lord has brought me back empty.
Don't listen to them. You just need dinner and a nap.
Finding food was their top priority.
Some of those barley fields belong to my husband's relative, Boaz.
The grain is being harvested right now. Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftovers.
Go, my daughter.
The law instructed the landowners to leave behind some of the harvest for people who needed food, so Ruth followed behind the harvesters, gathering every bit of barley that fell to the ground.
Barley. Let's see. You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, sauté it.
Ruth worked hard in the heat of the day. In the afternoon, Boaz came out to survey the harvest.
The Lord be with you.
The Lord bless you!
Boaz spotted Ruth hard at work and asked his overseer,
Who is that young woman?
She came back from Moab with Naomi. She asked if she could pick up the extra grain and has barely rested all day.
Boaz was moved by Ruth's care for Naomi. He waded through the barley to speak with her.
Stay here and follow along where the men are harvesting. I'll make sure no one bothers you. And when you're thirsty, you get a drink from the water jars.
Why are you so kind to me, a foreigner?
I've been told what you've done for your mother-in-law, how you left your homeland to come here. May the Lord reward you.
Boaz offered Ruth bread and roasted grain to eat, and at the end of the day, she was able to bring a large amount of grain home to Naomi.
So much food!
Ruth continued to work in Boaz's fields until the end of the grain harvest, but even then, life would have been very difficult for two women living alone together. So Naomi laid out a plan for Ruth.
I will do whatever you say.
At the end of the harvest, the workers threshed the grain to separate the edible kernel from the straw. Then they held a big celebration. When the meal was over and the lights burned low, Boaz laid down near the pile of grain to sleep. Ruth arrived and approached Boaz just as Naomi had told her to do. She folded the blanket away from his feet and lay down nearby.
Who's there?
It's me, Ruth. Please give me your protection since you're responsible for our family.
Boaz was surprised, but what Ruth had said was true.
The Lord bless you. Don't be afraid. I'll do what you ask. Everyone knows you are wise and kind.
Even though Boaz agreed to help Ruth, there was a family member who was closer than Boaz. So in the morning, Boaz set out to meet that man and the town elders to settle the matter.
I will buy Naomi's land and also marry Ruth, if you will let me.
Well, I sure can't purchase Naomi's land and take care of my own land, too.
So we're good?
Go right ahead.
Today, you are all my witnesses that I will buy Naomi's land and marry her daughter-in-law, Ruth.
As soon as it could be arranged, Boaz and Ruth were married. Naomi came to live with them, and a short time later, Ruth and Boaz had a new baby boy.
His name is Obed.
Aren't you the sweetest little thing?
So through the kindness of Boaz and Ruth, Naomi had a brand new home and a brand new family too. Everyone could see the difference in her face.
Praise be to the Lord. He's given you a new lease on life, Naomi.
Yeah, that Ruth is better to you than 7 sons.
Now, Ruth's story doesn't end there. Her son Obed had a son named Jesse, who had a son named David, King David. And hundreds of years later, a new baby boy was born in Bethlehem who was a descendant of King David, and his name was Jesus.
It's pretty amazing to see how God can use our kindness to accomplish things. Naomi was kind to Ruth, so Ruth was kind to Naomi, which allowed Naomi to set Ruth up with Boaz, who was kind enough to take care of both of them.
I think this is a great example of paying it forward. However, usually we only do that for strangers to brighten their day. But like Tarzan said earlier, when the people closest to us hurt us, it hurts even more than it should. The same thing goes with treating others with kindness. When the people who are closest to us are kind to us, it feels extra good.
Exactly. If you take anything away from this video, let it be the bottom line for this week. Be kind to your family and friends, even your annoying brother or sister.
And you know what? We've had some kindness being shown to us recently, and we got some nice little Valentine's cards in the mail that were left for us, and we just want to say thank you. And this is a great way to show kindness, which is what this month is all about here at Kids Connection. So maybe you did some Valentine's cards for the people in your family, or maybe friends at school, or some people that you really care about in your life. And we want to encourage you to just share more kindness all of the time. So thanks for your kindness to us. Be sure to tune in next week. We've got more for you then. All right, bye everybody.
See ya.